If you were to travel all the way around the Earth in a straight line and return back to the very same spot that you started in, you would go on a journey of almost 25,000 miles. This means that the circumference all the way around the Earth is 25,000 miles. Pluto, on the other hand, has a circumference of only 4,500 miles. Now, 4,500 miles is still absurdly huge. Pluto is a massive rock floating through space. So, I wondered, what would happen if a massive celestial object like Pluto were to crash directly into our Earth? The reality of such an impact is terrifying, but at the same time, it's an amazing sight to watch. Every glowing dot ejecting out of the impact site is a massive chunk of Pluto or even the Earth's crust. Over the next hours and days, they will be pulled back down by Earth's gravity and rain onto our planet like hellfire, obliterating everything. At this point, it should be clear that all life on Earth will inevitably die. The gray area forming around the edges of the fiery impact site is actually the ocean floor. The intense heat produced by the impact is causing the billions and billions of gallons of water in the ocean to evaporate on contact. When the simulation is sped up to many times normal speed, we can see that all of Earth's oceans evaporate. The heat from the original impact spreads throughout the entire planet, heating it from the inside out. All of Earth's crust becomes molten. The continents that were once so familiar become completely unrecognizable. Eventually, our Earth would cool down and it would return to its former state. It would have an atmosphere and water would come back to the oceans. However, the continents would most likely be reshaped from the entire crust being molten. The point that Pluto actually impacted the Earth would likely be a permanent large crater. It would take many millions or even billions of years for something that large to be removed from the Earth's surface. In the end, even after Pluto smashed into Earth, it seems that after a very long time, liquid oceans would return, and the atmosphere would return to its normal composition. Life will always find a way.
Heavens are shaking, And there's no question that we've got a prophetic evening last night. 61 meteors. Are you serious? 61 fireballs is what they like to report it as. Seen in the sky last night. Every night, folks, there are now fireballs being reported around the earth. But not at this number. 61. Matter of fact, the NASA all-sky cameras scan the skies above the United States for meteor fireballs, and automated software is now being used to help track the actual path in which each meteor is taking. And it's an incredible, they're coming from every different direction, but to have one night where 61 of them pierce through in the atmosphere, they're being seen all over the world. They're being reported. It's intensifying. It's exactly what Mike from around the world said was going to happen. And folks, the second wave of the 5 waves of energy is due December 26th. And here's the key. It's not like the world's going to come to an end on December 26th. But what it does say is this, boom, we're going to feel this this wave of energy, but it's followed by intense pressure, fireballs, earthquakes, volcanoes, potential apocalyptic or cataclysmic or catastrophic events, tsunamis, not sure. We know the earth's going to shake, okay? We know it's going to shake, and there's a lot of debris. And we're not even to the second wave yet. You know, we've had the first wave last year, and some of you may not know, and it was a small ripple wave. It hit on August the 17th, okay, 2015. Now, then in April of this year, we had a wave, a very small wave, but it was recorded and documented. BP Earthwatch was able to go back and retract and find that. Now, and then during the late September, I think it was, no, or in October, around October 14th, 15th, we had 3 waves, 3 days in a row. They were little ripples, but they definitely affected the Earth's magnetosphere, okay? It definitely affected it. And there's charts and graphs that show it. You can see it in real time. And BP Earthwatch spotted it. And I actually had BP Earthwatch and Mike Around the World come on my live show and discuss this. Now, the second wave is due. But already, we've seen unbelievable auroras. And now 61 fireballs last night, according to reports. They were all over the world. They were flying everywhere. And here's another report. NASA is admitting that they know where 1,743 potentially hazardous asteroids that are considered near-Earth objects of the Earth. They have them located. They know they have named them. They know their size and approximate time they will go by the Earth. None of them are projected to hit us. But oh, by the way, neither was the one that hit in Russia. They didn't have that one listed. Remember that one, February of 2013? And 2 months ago, the one that hit in Australia, that one wasn't listed. And 4 years ago, the one that hit and killed a person in Argentina, that one wasn't listed. Matter of fact, NASA has listed right now 1,743 potential hazardous asteroids. They have listed, all of which are near-Earth objects, none of which are projected to hit us. Matter of fact, NASA has never predicted an asteroid to hit us. They're only going to tell us about the ones they know, they see, they're going by. And the 61 fireballs that was in the sky last night, none of those are even on the charts because they're considered meteors or fireballs. They're not incoming asteroids. What I'm trying to say to you is, we are on the brink of the collision of the cosmos. The colliding, the collision of the cosmos is taking place like a pinball. And at some point, as Planet X or Nibiru or Planet 7X, as Gil Brazard says it, or Planet number 9, like NASA's renamed it, or, whatever you want to call it, call it what you want, binary system, a part of the Jupiter system, call it whatever you want to call it, whatever is it that God is using. And remember, God is doing it. Whatever this object, this huge, massive pull that's on the entire solar system and is shaking the heavens and is breaking loose the cosmos. There's a collision of the cosmos. Something's breaking loose the asteroids, the meteorites, the fireballs. And Jesus said this was going to happen. And Paul warned of the great shaking both in the heavens and on the earth. And Isaiah prophesied it in Isaiah 24. He even talks of a pole shift in Isaiah 24 verse 1. When he says the earth is going to flip upside down. He even tells us that we'd hear songs in the heavens and noises, boom, from the earth, from the pit. And we're hearing these. These are the sounds of the apocalypse. And as that's all happening, folks, you can know the earth is going to reel and rock like a drunken man. Isaiah said it in the same chapter, Isaiah 24, verse 20. So what I'm telling you is this. We're on a collision course with destiny. We're on a collision course with Christ. You're either going to meet Christ in the air, in his glorified body, you change in the moment of a twinkling of an eye, or you're going to meet the wrath of God on a collision course with humanity's judgment, when the wrath of God and the seals are broken, poured out upon this planet, and the men are going to run for the rocks and the mountains, and they're going to cry to them to fall on them and to hide them from the face of him that sits on the throne. I'm promising you something. Every knee is going to bow. Every tongue is going to confess. Every eye is going to behold him. They're going to confess that he's the King of kings, the Lord of lords. Whether you believe it or not, the hour is coming. Are you serious? It is the coming apocalypse. Give your life to Jesus Christ. And get the joy of the Lord. Because are you afraid, Pastor Beckley? No. I'm not afraid at all, because the Bible says when I see these signs that I'm to look up. When I see these things coming to pass, here it is. There shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and distress of nations with perplexity, and the sea and the waves roaring. Men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking after those things that are coming upon the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and there's going to be a collision in the cosmos. Then shall you see the Son of Man. It says, look up. Right then, when you see all these things happening, look up. Lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh, because you will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. All right, and when these things begin to come to pass, he said, look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Are you saved? Jesus is the way.
All different directions, but the most distant objects all swing out in one direction in a very strange way that shouldn't happen. And we realized that the only way we could get them to all swing in one direction is if there is a massive planet also very distant in the solar system, keeping them in place while they all go around the sun. And we started looking at this and thinking, this must be either a coincidence or it's caused by something else. It can't be caused by a planet, because that's crazy. There are no planets out there. I went from trying very hard to be skeptical that what we were talking about was true to suddenly thinking, oh, this actually might even be true.
So the object itself likely is more massive than the Earth, probably a little bit less massive than Neptune. It sits right in between that terrestrial to giant icy planet range. Its orbit, unlike the orbits of the known planets, is not nearly circular and planar. Instead, it is exceptionally wide, 20 times bigger than the orbit of Neptune. The orbital period of the Earth is, of course, 1 year. Right? The orbital period of Jupiter, the big player in our solar system, is about 10 years. The orbital period of this putative ninth planet is 20,000 years.
We have nothing like it in the solar system, so it's new for us. It is, however, the most common mass of planets that have been found around all of the other stars. People have always looked at all these other planets in this strange mass range and said, wow, I wonder what these are. I don't know what these are because we don't have anything like it in the solar system. Looks like maybe we do. I'm really hoping that as we announce this, people start a worldwide search to go find this ninth planet.
Again, solar stream is coming from the right. That's where the sun is. All the plasma in the blue is being blown backwards. That's a part of our protective shield here. 2 hours missing. 5:37, exactly the same time. Everything goes haywire. Come up to that point again. Everything's coming from the right. Bam. Now the black lines are our field lines. That's our magnetic field lines. Very important. They have now bent backwards at this point. People have talked about Planet X, Nibiru, Planet 7. If there's an object coming in, would it have orbiting planets? Would it have debris with it?
So this is some stuff that piqued my curiosity that I'm sharing with you here. All of this stuff will be linked. I suggest you go to the Caltech thing and watch the whole video. But anyways, I'm going to try and get through this quickly for you. Planet X to really cause mass extinction this month. This is April 9th, 2016. We're going to come down here. Thanks to science, we know that the larger the celestial body, the bigger its gravity, and consequently its ability to affect other, smaller bodies around it. We've known of Jupiter's crucial role in protecting us from asteroids for quite some time now, but the mysterious Nibiru could very well do the opposite, and some say there's good reason to believe it. We're going to come down here. A retired astrophysics professor from the University of Louisiana, Daniel Whitmire, is saying Nibiru has all but arrived to our neck of the woods, and that the destruction brought about by its gravitational trickery will take place this very April, as it's done numerous times before. Then we're going to come down here. Earlier this year, we started seeing space anomalies manifesting in a small group of objects, which have been taking on a peculiar orbit, all the way past Neptune, and it resurrected a 100-year debate. And then we're going to come over here, because again, this stuff just piqued my curiosity, and I wanted to share it with you. This is fire officials' reclaim report of possible meteor strike in Bowie. This is Bowie, Maryland. This was on April 25th, 2016. And we're going to come down here, where this was put out by the Bowie Volunteer Fire Department. Possible meteorite strike behind Scarlet Oak Terrace causing a massive brush fire. And then we're going to come up here and see that when firefighters made it to the site, there was a large pit, which was 12 to 15 feet wide by 5 to 6 feet deep. And the fire spread to adjacent trees and brush and took approximately 15 firefighters 4 hours to extinguish. But again, they came out and said, nope, that should have never been put out. The post should have never listed a meteorite as the cause. Okay, so now we're coming over here. Was it a meteor? Solving the mystery of New Jersey's tsunami buoy. April 25th, 2016. A tsunami warning device about 200 miles off the coast of New Jersey went into event mode over the weekend, but there were no giant waves threatening the shore. There was speculation that the drop could have been triggered by a meteor because the Lyrid meteor showers were active during the weekend. There also was speculation a submarine could have struck the buoy. So again, this stuff just piqued my curiosity, want to share. We're going to move here. Okay, so now here we are, coast to coast. This was from March 30th, 2016. In the first half of the show, retired investigative researcher Bob Fletcher talked about his contention that a rogue Planet X or Nibiru is coming our way and the disastrous effects it could have for Earth. He first became suspicious that something was afoot when he discovered that massive amounts of money were being funneled out of the government and the Federal Reserve. He concluded that these funds were surreptitiously used for the construction and stocking of underground facilities that will house the elite and members of the New World Order, while the arrival of Planet X wreaks cataclysms upon the planet's surface. According to his sources, the knowledge of Planet X dates as far back as 1983. So again, I was just like, well, that's interesting. And so we're coming over here because I remembered hearing about Rumsfeld talking about the missing $2.3 trillion that they couldn't track on September 10th. And we all know what happened on September 11th, 2001. Nobody was talking about the missing money. So I Googled just to see, and there was this one, which brought me over here. So here we are, debunked. Rumsfeld says 2.3 trillion missing from the Pentagon. In 2001, Donald Rumsfeld said, according to some estimates, we cannot track 2.3 trillion in transactions. This has been misinterpreted by many people as 2.3 trillion actually going missing. However, it's really just about the way the money was accounted for. So here's the original source. Go look at it for yourself, right? Okay. Oh, well, golly gee. Page not found. Okay, well, there was another link, right? Here, we can also see this. Huh. No input file specified, but yes, there was. So again, this was something, this has gone long, but it really, really piqued my curiosity. And I wanted to share it because, again, trying to put the pieces together. Here we are. He first became suspicious that something was afoot when he discovered that massive amounts of money were being funneled out of the government. And then, I don't know. This just made me go, that's interesting.